Hello again, I'm Matt Goodwin and welcome to part 5 of my beginner's guide to shooting Olympic trap. So today we're at the excellent Griffin Lloyd shooting ground in Wales, where we're going to be covering hold points and pick-up points. So when I first decided to do these videos, this was the one topic that I was worried about. It can get very complicated, and probably one of the most overheard conversations you'll hear on a track ground and a track competition is, where are you holding your gun? Where are you holding your eyes? Because it can alter from ground to ground, different weather conditions, everything can affect it. My whole aim when I started doing this series of videos was just to try and break Olympic trap shooting down into its most basic parts and make it easy to follow and easy to get started, because it can quite easily become very daunting when you see the detail that's involved. So today I'll be trying to do that with the quite complicated subject of the hold points and the pick-up points. A hold point is simply where the height you hold your gun above, below or on the trench when you're calling pull and waiting for the target to be released. Now your pick-up point is best described as the point you're looking where you first see the target appear as a hard-edged, clear target. When the target first is released from the trap and goes out across the range from the trench, it tends to be a streak or a blur, and we want to ignore this. We want to wait till we see the target absolute as a perfect hard-edged target going out. So when establishing your pickup point, what you are trying to do is stop yourself moving on the flash, and until you've seen that target flying properly, you're really going to struggle to assess the direction and the speed and the height in which it's travelling. So it's probably a good time to remind ourselves of the basics of trap shooting, the basic principle, which is you cannot try and lead or work out the forward allowance of these targets. You don't have enough time. From calling the bird off to shooting the target is usually less than a second. So we have to use a follow-through type method. Target comes out, we're holding the gun here. Target goes out, we wait, then we go after the target, go through the target, pull the trigger and follow through. The differing speed between us, the target going out, and us having to go faster to catch the target up automatically creates the lead or forward allowance. So here's a slow motion example from the shooter's point of view of how we let the target out and then we chase after, swing through the target, pull the trigger, and the target is broken. There are many factors: light, background, target speed, scheme, many things that can alter where you hold your eyes when you hold the gun. There's too much really to go into in a beginner's guide, and I think we can make things too difficult for ourselves too soon. So the following is just a really easy basic method I devised that you can start to experiment finding your hold points and your pickup points. So to try and determine where we first see the clay as a solid object and not a blur, if we place our hand flat out in front of us, covering the mark, and call for the bird. Move your hand up to cover the blur, call again. Move your hand up a bit more, and move your hand so it's covering all the blur, and all you can see coming up over the top of your hand is the solid target. The area immediately above your hand now becomes your pickup point. That is where we set the eyes to pick up the moving target. Now it's important to note that you shouldn't stare at one small little spot. It's more a soft focus in that general area. Once you're happy and have established that, hold your arm where it is, clench your fist and then stick your little finger out on its own.
Pull.
The bottom edge of your little finger becomes your gun hold point. Now your hold points and pickup points, as I've said before, vary from person to person, from ground to ground, and it really is something you have to develop for yourself. This is one of the reasons we keep a training diary, or a way of recording what we do at different grounds to help us in the future. Now what some people do is they like to get a piece of card that they can hold out at arm's length and mark on there where they hold and where their pickup point is. Another good way of doing it that I like to do is by using your smartphone, where you take a picture of the range with the marker, then you can draw on your hold point and your pickup point and then save it. You can write on where you were, what range it was, what time of year. If you use a cloud service, it's automatically backed up so you're not going to lose it, and it can use that as a really good visual method of remembering what you do at each layout and at each ground. So the one big drawback about using that method with a smartphone is that when it comes to serious competition, you are not allowed electronic devices on the shooting range. That's not that big a problem, because I tend to look at the pictures before I go on and really visualise what I'm going to do. So that's the end of part 5. In part 6 we're going to look at pre-shot routines. So we've already got most of our routine there. We've got our feet position, our stance, our gun mount, our pickup points, our hold points. We need to roll them into one easily memorable and easily repeatable, rock solid pre-shot routine that we can do exactly the same before every single target. It's vitally important with trap shooting, and it's the glue that holds everything together. And when things start to go wrong, if you've got this rock solid routine to return to, it can get you out of a lot of trouble. So if you found this video useful, you've liked it, found something of benefit in it, could you please like, share or subscribe? I know I keep saying it, but it would just mean a lot to me. It would give me a bit of enthusiasm to keep going and do more videos. Also, if you've got any questions, any queries, feel free to pop them in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.